So right now I'm working with this player before any change was made to their stroke. I'm using an iPhone 14 along with CapCut editing software. This observation occurred in a private lesson that was done indoors. We're working on the transition game. Specifically, we're working on the backhand slice and using that shot to help her transition into the net. Right now in this lesson, you can see that Amy normally hits a two-handed backhand. So in order to teach her backhand slice, we need to work on her grip. I needed to make sure she was using a continental grip to hit the slice. And you can see that initially she's using her forehand grip to hit her slice. And as a result, her racket face is way too open at the point of contact. The result is that the ball flies as she's hitting him. The ball flies way too high. Since the slice backhand is a new shot to her, I'm focusing on consistency at this time. In later lessons, I want to work on her follow through and the swing path. Ultimately, I'd like to see her use her slice backhand to help her transition into the net. In terms of ball characteristics, we're looking to work on the height and the depth of her ball. The slice will create a low ball that gets through the court and is difficult for her opponent to play, especially on grass. And it should also give her time to follow the ball into the net. So the deeper she can get that slice and the less height it gets on it, so it stays low over the net, the better the shot will be. So in lesson 2, once we were able to address Amy's grip issue, we started working on Amy's swing path. We tried to make sure it was going from high to low in order to impart the appropriate spin. So I demonstrated the proper swing path for her, kind of showed her what she was doing wrong too, in terms of improper swing path. And then I had her do several shadow swings in order to demonstrate to me that she got the gist of what we were talking about. We were able to successfully move from the shadow swing to a hand feed. And the hand feed enabled her to gain more confidence and sort of progress in terms of the lesson. Once it seemed like she kind of had the mechanics down from the hand feed, we then moved to a racket feed, me feeding the ball from the other side of the net, all while trying to maintain the focus on her swing path, making sure that she was moving from high to low. And then we added some work in on her follow through to make sure that she was following through to the target rather than relying on following through over her shoulder, since her natural backhand is two-hander. In terms of the continuum closed to open, we kind of started in a more closed environment since Amy was still in the cognitive to associative range. And then a little later, we started out doing some more open continuum drills. So I started out by hand feeding her the ball, and then we progressed to me racket feeding her the ball from the other side of the net. And then we moved to a more open phase by having her hit sliced backhand approach, which was racket fed by me, with her transitioning to the net and attempting to play out a point.
Beautiful. That's the one. Beautiful. Yep. Yep. There it is.
So I was able to observe Amy during USTA League match play, where I played as her partner. I was also able to observe her during her 4th private lesson. I observed her integrating the backhand slice into her match play in both offensive and defensive situations. At the beginning of the lesson, we just rallied so I could get a feel for how the stroke was progressing, and then transitioned into point play. In terms of specific progress since the last lesson, Amy's follow-through was much improved. Her shoulder is going in the direction of the ball, and she has her elbow bent. there's more high to low action on her shot now. She starts high and finishes high, giving her slice backhand some good bite. In this lesson, in terms of skill focus, I tried to get Amy to focus on making sure she had her weight on the right foot when hitting the slice backhand. I wanted to impart to her that this weight shift would give her more control and pace on her shot. Since the prior lessons, we focused on the swing path and follow through. Since Amy seemed to have incorporated these elements into her shot, we then moved on to focus on her weight transfer and making sure she was loading her weight onto her outside leg, in her case, the right foot. I feel that Amy is ready to incorporate her slice backhand into point match play. She has demonstrated the ability to know when to use the slice in both defensive and offensive situations. She has shown the ability to hit the slice in transition and move into the net. She's also demonstrated the ability to hit the shot defensively when she's out of position. She has good spin and pace on the ball when hitting from a neutral position.